Right, good morning. Sorry I am running late. My name is Helen Jennings. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator based here in the UK. It's a really warm, sunny morning here, quite hot out here in the conservatory already. And we've already had an exciting morning. So my son's fiance rang me to say I'm on my way home. A little boy that she was working with in nursery has tested positive for COVID, so she's now self-isolating for the next 10 days. And then I picked up a vase of flowers. I think you can, that side, you can see the flowers over my shoulder just there. I picked up my vase of flowers to move them to make way to come live to you this morning. The vase snapped. I've got a plaster on my finger, blood, water, flowers everywhere. So I think we're now back in control and we've managed to set up our table. So without further ado, I think we should get on with some crafting because, otherwise I think the world seems a dangerous place otherwise this morning. So let me click over here and we'll have a little look at what we're going to be playing with today. So on Monday we were playing with the masks. So this is me here, www.loveaduckie.co.uk. Excuse my mouse a minute. Don't know why it does it on my lives, but we get this odd little pop-up that then means I can't see a thing. Thank you. This is me, www.loveaduckie.co.uk. So if you're looking for me in any of the online websites, social media, look out for me under Love-a-Duckie. Yes, an exciting morning indeed so far, Jackie. Let's hope that we continue with a little less excitement for the next little while. So on Monday we were playing with this new set of masks. There's two sets of masks in the catalogue there on page 128. I already have the basic patterns somewhere, but we were playing with the new set, the Plenty of Patterns, and had some fun with blending brushes, and we made this background card just here, and we made the background on here with this ombre effect with that sort of fish scaly type pattern. So, and then we did a bit of tracing and colouring with that one as well. So we had a couple of different techniques using some masks on Monday, and I thought we'd have a couple more techniques with the other two masks in the set for today. So obviously if you missed out on that video on Monday, it is still available either on my YouTube channel or on my Facebook page, and you can click to like both of those and make sure that you get notified when they're going out. So these are the two patterns we have played with. So there's this one with the 4 mandalas on, and this one with the sort of loopy fishy scale type one. Those are the two that we played with on Monday. So that leaves us these two, which is this one with this florally type pattern, and this one here with this sort of, well, very appropriate for this morning, almost like broken glass look, isn't it? Or stained glass window or something like that. But yeah, that really sort of nice big bold cracked shapes type thing going on there. So those are the two that we're going to play with this morning. Now, which one to start with? Let's go with this one. And I'm going to take a bit of basic black card. I don't know how big this piece is. Not quite big enough for what we want. So I'm going to take this down to 9.5 by 39. So fairly basic standard mat size. Let's bring in my messy mat here to lay on top. A bit of, actually I've got some bits of washi tape stuck to my desk still from Monday, and the one thing about this is you can of course reuse it. No reason why not. So I'll just stick this bit of card down on this edge. Let's move that bit down there a bit. That's what I'd like to do. Try and line that mask up like this. So this corner piece just here is sitting in the corner of that card. And that's down there. Okay, because I'm thinking I'd quite like to get sort of quite a straight edge to the edge of this pattern. So let's find some bits of scrap paper. Just tear that up. I think we'll have that coming up there. And across there. So hopefully that will hold in place for us, because now I'm going to take a Versamark ink pad. Making sure I hold that down. I'm going to press this all over here now. Perhaps being a little bit brave, because what I should have done is perhaps re-inked my Versamark first to make sure it was a fairly juicy Versamark pad. And hopefully that has got, yeah, if I catch the light with that, can you see that? We've got quite a nice bit of Versamark on there. So let's take our pot of white embossing powder. And let's sprinkle that over the top. And I've got a bit there that's missed slightly. We'll just have to make sure that we still didn't quite have my scrap paper in the right place. But we can work on that. I'm just going to take a paintbrush and scootle off any bits that are here. Let's make that clear as well. And we always do this, wait and pick the really, really hot days. Morning, Glenda. Lovely to see you. Morning, Anita. So, on a nice hot day, let's plug in our heat embossing tool, because there's nothing like adding a bit more heat to a hot day. It's dedication to the cause for you. I haven't even plugged it in yet. Right, so excuse the noise. Let's get that heated up. I'm just watching that all change from sort of a matte white to a shiny white. I don't know how much of that you can catch, but obviously we could have done this the other way round. We could have taken a white piece of card. Now that we have black embossing, you could do it with silver or gold. Let's make sure we've got all of those bits. It's rather a nice bold background, isn't it? Now, one thing I have done is I've got over here a container with soapy water in. I'm just going to throw that mask in it for now. Not quite so important for this one, but in a minute we are going to be using some embossing paste, and you never want to let that dry on your masks. You always want to throw that in water. But we'll do the same with the Versamark because it will be starting to clean it up for us. Grab my towel, now I've wet my hands. Right, so I was thinking, what could we do with our black and white background? So I have grabbed some party puffins. They're sort of quite nice and black as well, aren't they? And what shall we have? In the way of a frame. I like this one, I think. So I'm going to cut one of those out of black. I'm going to cut one out of white as well. So let me just run those through my die cutting machine. Throw the die on the floor. So with this die you get this sort of embossed line coming around the inside. So hopefully what I'm going to be able to do with the white one is just cut round that embossed line. Gone quiet, tongues out, cutting out bits of paper. So yeah, I'll just follow those lines round here. As a guide, and hopefully that will then sit in there and just have a little bit of a black border that's going to pop on this top bit here. You're not going to notice it so much on the bottom, but it will pop on that top bit. So let's have a look. He will sit quite nicely in there, won't he? my morning continues. That was my watercolour pencils going all over the floor. Just scoop them to one side for now. Now, I do actually think with my puffin, I'm going to take my Stamparatus, just because we do want him to be a very nice black puffin. And let's take our little label, pop it in there, and just anchor him down. Little puffin. Let's do that the right way, shall we? Stick him down. Right, I've got some memento here because I'm going to colour his hat with stamping blends, so I want to make sure I'm using memento, because otherwise if I use stays on, the colour will bleed. Let's give him a good push down. That's not bad, but let's come in again, particularly on his body. There. He's a nice bold black penguin. No, he's not. He's a nice bold black puffin. Wrong bird. We have got penguins coming in the Christmassy catalogue, but not yet. We're still playing. Let's play with puffins for now. A puffin with a birthday hat. What colour shall we do his hat? Depends really whether you want this to be a little boy or a little girl. Or... I've got some Mango Melody here. Let's give him a Mango Melody beak. And let's give him some Mango Melody feet. Then this hat. Decisions. Oh. I'm bringing some light Night of Navy, I think, for the spots. And for the little pom-pom. And then come in with some Bermuda Bay. On his hat. Let's stick our little puffin to our background. Let's have a happy birthday. I'm going to do a little fish as well, just because it's rather cute and we can. There's our little fish. Ooh, let's do that again. Better. Let's trim a happy birthday. Let's give our little fish some colour. About a bit of pool party. A pool party fish. And we'll give him a light knighted navy bow. Let's cut him out. He's a very easy shape to cut out. Not too many. Well, there's no really fiddly bits to cut round. I'll give our greeting a bit of a black mat. This really nice black and white twine from the Playful Pets set. So I think we'll have ourselves a nice white .4 by 10 mat. While I'm here on the edge bit that's 9.5, and 13.9 to go in the middle. And then here I've got another piece of black card. I'm just going to, it is half a piece. And let's just score that and make our card base. Okay, let's build this baby. So So that slightly smaller bit, that can be ready to go inside. Let's take our nice embossed shapes. I like the way that's come out, that's really quite bold. We'll add that to a white mat. Let's take some black and white twine. You can play with that a little bit more in a minute. And pop our puffin up on some dimensionals. I'm going to put a couple at the top and a couple at the bottom so that that will sit over the top of that twine wrap. And we should still be able to wiggle it slightly. Let's have that coming about there. Have a bit of a fiddle with that. I think I'm going to pop the whole of this front piece up on dimensionals to raise it up again. Really, that card base was a bit longer than it should be. Yes, it is. I thought that looked as if that was a little bit longer than it should be. Right, okay. We'll, whenever I touch a Memento ink pad, I seem to get black ink everywhere. Let's have a little row of fishes. Ah, for goodness sake. As we were. Let's have a little row of fishes. And stick that on the inside. This is looking a little wonky. Let's straighten that up a little bit. There's a fish. Where has our happy birthday gone? Here it is on the floor, I can see it. And let's put a dimensional under one end. And looks like my internet is a bit slow this morning, so apologies if it's goes a bit fuzzy. That's because normally I'm on the house on my own. So I'm taking the back off. And where should we put our little fish? Just there, I think. I'm going to take a mini dimensional. Let me just find just grab my box of kitties. Let's have, do love these matte black dots. Let's have a few matte black dots, if we can say it, going on there. So there. So that is using our mask and heat embossing. So tapping our Versamark through the mask, heat embossing it to make a cute little puffing card. So that's added to our mask techniques that you can do. So let's just do one more. I'm going to cut a panel for this one. I think I'm going to make it 6 centimeters wide. I need it to be 14.4 long, I think. Now, in our final mask is this one here with all the flowers on. So now I need to decide whether I want that to go this way or this way. I think I'm going to have it coming this way. I'm actually going to do, because I want to be able to get right to the edge of this piece of card. Excuse me. Just going to put a little glue dot on the back of it to hold that down. And then let's bring in our mask. I should have put two glue dots on it, but once we're settled, we'll be okay. That's worked quite nicely, actually, that 6 centimeters, because we've got the bottom of a row of flowers there and the top of a row of flowers there. Perfect. I'd like to say I pre-planned all of that, but you know me better than that. Okay, so we now have our mask across our strip of card. Somewhere I have my silicone mat. and a palette knife and some embossing paste. So I've just got the ordinary embossing paste here. You can do this as well, obviously, with the shimmery one. It's been open for a little while, so it's not totally unusable, but it does feel as if it's starting to get a little bit on the dry side. So I've got a spritzer here. Just going to spritz that. And pop the lid back on. I'm going to go and get some cling film or something in a bit just to help seal that up. Right, so I've got a nice dollop of embossing paste there, and I've got a Magenta Madness re-inker. Let's put a few drops of ink on there. Mix it up. As you can see, we're going really subtle and not with this. Bright pink. Let's just work that in. Still got some little bits of, not sure what that is. That's a bit of plastic. No wonder that's not mixing in. A bit of the cover, I think. Right. I think that's pretty well there. And then what we're going to do is spread that on here. And if you can spread jam on your toast, you can do this. So spread it all the way over. Make sure that you've got a nice covering of paste in all of those holes. Take out your excess. I've got a little bit there that I think is just, I'm not quite sure what it is, a bit of a hard bit that's stayed white. So let's replace that. So we're going to scrape off the excess. I've probably got enough there to do another piece. Let's take that off, unpin that, because obviously we've got the glue dot on the bottom. So you've just got the starting of the bottom of another one there, so what we might do is in a minute trim that off slightly, but there we go. We've got a nice bright Magenta Madness flowery background. Does look like a mixing eye. Ooh. Well, hopefully you'll catch up later, Jackie. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to bring in this mask and a piece of scrap white card, and let's let's use up the rest of our pink. I've got an airtight box I could add it into, then it would keep, but as I say, it's quite warm in here today. There we are. I've got a random bit of card now that we'll be able to use for something different. Put that to one side, and my stencil, I am going to take off those bits of washi tape, and along with my spatula and my mat, I'm going to throw that in my water. And it will just stop it drying out until I can get to clean it properly. Let's move this messy mat out of the way. Now that's not going to take too long to dry today, I don't think. But while we're waiting, I'm going to bring in the Timeless Tropical stamp set. So this is one that's been around for a little while, but seemed perfect with these big bright blooms and leaves to be going with this bold embossed background. So let's have this D block, and a B block, and a C block. And we'll bring our memento back in again because I've got some stamping blends on hand. I'm sorry, that camera is very fuzzy, and I can only think it's the internet. But hopefully it's not distracting too much. You're getting the general gist. Our memento ink might want inking up a little bit more, but actually because we're going to be colouring it in, it's not necessarily too bad a thing. Let's have two of those flowers, so one large, two small, and let's have 3 leaves. So I've got Magenta Madness, obviously, and some Mango Melody, and I come in on this centerpiece with some light Mango Melody, and on this stamen piece with some dark Mango Melody. Right, let's come in now with some this is the dark Magenta Madness. Just going in where there's dark bits on here. Let's come round the edge of this stamen piece. and around here. And then let's bring in some light magenta madness. Squeaky, squeaky. And this last petal. And I'll come back in with the light mango melody. Blend that out a little bit. I'm going to take, I've got here, dark smoky slate. Just feels as if I need to highlight the edge of that stamen a little bit. Okay, so that's that one. I think this little flower here, will come in dark mango melody. And let's join in with some light mango melody. And just take the light magenta madness, just add in a little centre. And then let's do this other flower. And light. Into a spot. And then some granny apple green for our leaves. one. And number 2. I love Granny Apple Green. It's such a beautiful bright green. The go-to green if you want a bit of seeing in your projects. And ignore that. It's all right, and we're going to ignore it. It's an international call. We definitely always ignore international calls. Yeah. So there we go. Number 3. It's funny, my phone very rarely rings, and if it's going to ring, it's always in the middle of a live. What's that about? The law of sod, so they say. Right, let's find somewhere in my pile of things that I've gathered together. I have the In the Tropics dies, which means I have dies to cut out, big flower, little flower, and leaf. So let's do that. Just needs to trim a little bit off the edge of there. Put that in my white scrap box. Trying to decide which of those will cut easiest without overlapping that flower die, because you really don't want to overlap your dies if you can help it. It's looking good. Right. That's that one. And that one. And last but not least, yes, I very definitely think so, Glenda, the phone call, yes, scammer. It's that's why I just ignore them when they come through, and it shows up as international. I think you're showing me a UK mobile number and it says international. Right. Flowers. Let's have a look. That's dried beautifully. Obviously those pinks don't quite match. Still very bright and bold. What we're going to do, cut a piece of Magenta Madness that is 14.4 by 7, because we did that one by 6. To peel that glue dot off the back of there, and we'll pop this onto here. You can see the colour difference. Looks more like Flirty Flamingo than Magenta Madness. And that's fine, because we've used some Magenta Madness cardstock to bring that colour back in. And let's have a white card base. I think I'm going to cut it so it opens on the sides. I'm going to cut it at 1.5 centimetres and score at just under 14.9. Don't quite know what's happened to my white twine. Pull ourselves a bit out and do a nice big bow. What are you doing, Heaven? Get yourself organised. That's it. You'll have a nice big bow of that going on. Right, so we've stuck that to that. Let's stick this to our card base. Just here. Leaving a bit of a gap on the bottom. Let's chop off our bow. I'm actually going to reuse my glue dot that I've just put on the side there to stick that bow at the back of that flower. We're now getting to the stage where everything is on the desk. Let's put a couple of dimensionals on the back of there. I'm going to have that just there. We'll trim those off in a bit. Let's decide where we want these. We can have that one stuck in flat there. We'll have this one stuck in flat down here. Let's put in some of our leaves. That one there, and there's another leaf here. Let's have the rest and relax, you deserve it. Snip the you deserve it. And the rest and relax. Ooh. There's my you deserve it just there. Okay, let's grab some magenta madness. Let's wrap an oddment. That is all we need. Stick on you deserve it. Right. Excuse me. like that, I think. Let's put some dimensionals on there. Are we going to get a whole dimensional there? Yes, if we are very careful. And that's quite a long piece. Let's have one in the middle. And let's have a few. These are the silver and clear epoxy essentials. We'll just have a little bit of bling on there as well. So, over the course of the last week, we've played with each of the 4 stencils in that Plenty of Patterns stencil collection. Let me just clear a little bit of rubbish out of the way so that we can see what we're doing. So we have the flowery pattern. We have that sort of broken glass type pattern. We've had the sort of fish scaly type pattern, and we've had that mandala pattern. So we've created those 4 cards this week using all of those different masks. But for today, these are the ones we did. We did some Versamark and white heat embossing, and we've done some masks using the masks with our embossing paste. So all good fun. Let's play. Where has my cursor gone? And let's hopefully come back here. Yes, brilliant. Right, well, thank you very much for joining me on this warm and sunny Friday. I will go off now, have a drink of water, pick up all my watercolour pencils from the floor, have a tidy up, and everybody really enjoy your weekend. Have a fabulous weekend, and I look forward to seeing you again on Monday morning, hopefully, all being well. Have a lovely weekend.